At 6 o'clock, I'll bring this meeting to order with roll call.
Mr. Seaman?
Yep.
Mr. Chippewa?
Here.
Mr. Walden?
Here. Will you please stand for the pledge, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting in February.
I'll make the motion for the minutes from last
Okay,
meeting.
last meeting.
I'll second.
Mr. Seaman?
I was absent.
Oops. Yep. Mr. Chippewa?
Yes.
Mr. Walden?
Yes.
Okay, we'll always be your guests first. Hello.
Hello.
Nothing. You're good.
Well, just checking on things in the community.
Okay. John? Right? Nothing. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just observing.
Okay.
We do.
Okay. Boy, you guys are too easy. Yeah. All right, department reports. Let's start with Mr. Weeks, please.
Our next meeting is scheduled for March 10th. We will have a regular meeting that night, and we'll also have a public hearing at 6 o'clock. And immediately following the public hearing, we'll have a regular meeting. We're continuing our discussion on solar facilities. And I mentioned at the last meeting about a workshop that I attended. The NEO zoning and planning workshop is now scheduled for June 13th. And will be held at the Eastwood Mall Community Center. The cost is $60, and I'd like to hear a motion later on that any member of the zoning board of appeals or zoning commission
Absolutely. But, okay, so
have a
let's,
reservation paid for that.
okay,
I don't have the reservation forms yet. I just got the initial information today on that, so I'm sure it'll be coming out in the next week or so.
okay, so now goes. What's the date on that?
June 13th.
June 13th, and that's,
It's a Thursday.
Thursday.
What's it called? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. And then all board members encouraged to go?
Yeah,
What's the cost?
$60.
A piece?
It includes breakfast and lunch.
Oh, it's an all-day thing?
Yeah.
Any drinks?
You gonna go too?
Why would you ask that question?
He's gonna go too.
See if he's getting his $60 worth.
A lot of breakfast and lunch.
There's going to be 12 sessions, and from what I've seen so far, it should be pretty interesting.
If they have egg, you're gonna get your
Oh,
$60.
yeah,
worth.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put that in the form of a motion right now.
Well, we don't know what it's called yet.
Oh, we don't have a name.
I don't have the.
No,
Oh,
we said they'll do it
okay.
next time.
Fair enough.
I'll
All
go.
right. Let's, anything else, Mr. Woods?
That's it.
Okay. All right, Steve? You're up.
Spring repairs have been completed on engine 17, replaced the springs on both sides. There was a problem with one of the drive tires on the passenger side rear. Was leaking and there's a
Extension.
well, yeah, it's part of that system because there's an equalizer, a pressure equalizer on the tires in the back. And one of them, when they'd taken it off to repair the springs, an O-ring had gotten lost or something. At least the guy couldn't find an O-ring when he put it back together or took it apart. So he assumes that they lost an O-ring when they took it off. So replaced an O-ring, got it back to normal. So that means it's ready to be in service. We're doing some driver's training on it. So the old rescue is now ready for sale. There are 2 departments that will look at it. So you need to know what kind of asking price you're going to go with that.
Okay. The old rescue, that's the one parked out
It's
behind
the
the
Rosenbauer, not that.
That's the one we got from,
So
how much did we pay? Okay,
I
so
wasn't here then.
175 or something like that, wasn't it?
that's the one from Southie?
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know about that, when did we get that
Boy, that was.
one? Okay, we're not talking about the one we got from Roots Town for
Okay.
15.
Hartsfield, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, this
okay.
is one that we've had.
We had it for a while, yeah.
What, 7, 8 years, I think?
Who can we talk to and get a estimate?
You know, if we have, and the reason I don't want to call brokers, because if we have two people local that are interested, it really might go through a
Oh,
broker.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Maybe we can make some phone calls and get an idea.
That's what he's saying, it's ready to be sold. Well, I mean, that's one that we've had before.
Yeah. Okay, let us do some homework on that and we'll get that.
And the same way if we have a squad, somebody voiced interest in it. Our second out squad, our new one is due April,
Sooner.
so that's not that far off. So if somebody is indeed interested in buying and sold one, you know, we can go on out the field. So
Okay.
Another department also.
another department, yes. So I'm working, talking with that chief and see if we can come up with a deal on the activity and
Okay, is that,
its own price.
tell me which one that one is. Is that the one we put a new motor in?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the big, international chassis
The one that sits in the front?
in the back.
Oh, okay.
Is that DT 466?
Huh?
Does it have air conditioning?
What year is it?
You can put a motorcycle back.
There you go, buddy, I'm in.
It's a 2001, 2002, something like that.
It's international.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, there again, we'll do our homework.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Fuel fire trucks at combat.
No fire truck out back is, we just have to decide how we're gonna put that, how we're gonna advertise that. If you wanna try it in the paper, put a minimum bid on, I don't know. It's,
Okay,
again, the only thing of value on it is the motor transmission, pump. If you find the right person that wants any of those, combination of those, as a fire apparatus, it can't be put in service, so.
That's the one with the bad frame.
yeah.
Yes, that's the Cummins.
It's in Detroit.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in Detroit, yeah.
Okay.
Allison transmission.
It only had 40-some thousand, I think you said.
Yeah, probably 50, yeah, low 50s, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't let it go. Cheap.
Yeah, I didn't have it, no.
I can put it on that gov deals if you want. Bunch of pictures. Mile an hour, mileage picture, VIN number,
Kind of
pump
engine?
and what kind of engine. I just need a bunch of information on it, you know.
Okay,
Right.
all right, we'll start that.
Yeah. You'll
That's
get-
a-
Are you allowed to put them in
Yes,
bid on there? Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, think about a minimum bid. I'll
Steve,
get
that's
it
a
on there.
20-year-old truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pre-def.
So, oh, yeah,
Yeah, that,
yeah, it's a.
somebody will buy
97.
that just for the drive on it.
That's good. I got that.
There you go. Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead, Steve. Oh, sure. I'm waiting for
No,
Steve.
No, he's done.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, Steve,
We're all
go.
sitting there going.
I said he was done.
Okay.
That's why we make sense. Did you notice everybody staring
No,
at you?
I didn't. I'm surprised you didn't.
Well, I think that would be appropriate.
All right, Mr. Steve.
He's done.
He's done.
Oh, no, he did. Did you go over the
Yeah.
the lettering and everything?
That's
No,
old.
that's
That's
last.
last month.
I've been gone. I'm sorry.
You're as bad as I was last.
Sorry.
Here,
Okay.
this is in here.
Okay.
Who's older, you or Chickalo?
How much mile? I think it's a mileage issue. That's it. Okay. All right. Calm down. All right. Let's go with,
Steve.
Seems like I'm younger than both of you.
I have any.
You're sent out.
yeah, not me. Okay. So while we're just after finishing the fire department report, let's talk to our friends from that township. Jeff and I went over last Tuesday and sat in on a meeting, had a pretty good, really great discussion, thank you. And they passed a resolution to form a committee, a search, search committee, is that the word? Exploratory?
Committee to explore
Yeah.
alternatives for improving
Okay.
fire and EMS response.
Okay. You got that?
Maybe
Okay,
to
all right.
explore, would you say, explore fire and EMS responses? That's what you
In
said?
Northern Trumbull County.
Okay.
I'm Greg Chopko, trustee from
Yes,
Mecca,
I'm sorry.
and Chief Jones also
Yeah.
from Mecca.
So they passed a resolution to allow the formation of us starting talks. The people on the committee would be Greg, Tom, Jeff, and our chief. Would be those four people. So I would like to put in a resolution to form an exploratory committee to speak with Mecca Township about the future of our fire department.
So is that in the form of a
That's in the
motion?
form of a motion. Have a second.
I'll
please.
second that. I would not rule out the possibility of also inviting other neighboring communities into that group as well.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. Are there communities? And then, as of right now, it's going to be, Mr. Waldeck, Mr.
Yes.
Prager,
Yes.
Mr. Domes,
Yes.
and Greg. Greg?
Great.
Greg Chopko,
Chalk,
Chopko.
okay, to start out with.
Yes.
Let me get it there. Okay, Mr. Piccolo seconded, so
Yes.
Mr. Seaman,
Yes.
Mr. Chickalo,
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck.
Yes.
If we do have other people, we're gonna have to get a okay from Jason Toth. That wasn't. We'll get a clarification on that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else to add or
I
any more thoughts since last week?
I did attend an Ohio Township Association meeting in Columbus where they actually had a seminar on pros and cons of forming a fire district.
Mhm.
It was actually an attorney from Cantfield or I think he was from Poland Township.
Chip. Was his name Chip? He's a fire chief and a lawyer.
I believe so, yes.
Paul.
Yes.
I don't remember his
But yeah,
we all know
and his recommendation again was to, before we even talk, to have a feasibility study prepared. And the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association will do such a study. And I believe, to make sure we're doing what's best, not only for today, but I want to make decisions today that we're going to look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and agree, hey, we were on the right path. Both in terms of cost, response time, the quality of the training that our responders receive, and the quality of the equipment that they have. So I want to make sure whatever we decide, we're doing what's best long-term for not only our communities, but all the surrounding communities as well. And that's where I think independent study from the Fire Chiefs Association could help us get there.
Okay.
I'm new to local government. I've only been at this for a handful of months. So I'm trying to learn and, trying to do what's right, best long term.
So does the committee request a feasibility study, or does each township request? Like,
There
we
would only
request
be
one?
one study. The person I spoke with, a gentleman named Frank Cook, he actually prepared kind of a detailed write-up of everything that would be involved. I sent you a copy just today of that, so you should have it in your email now. He estimated it would take like 3 to 5 months to complete. There is a cost associated with it. He, reluctantly threw out a ballpark of like 25,000 to do such a study.
So they were looking at 50 grand? Two studies
No,
or just one?
just one study.
Okay, all right.
And I know when we talked at our meeting, Chief Dome said that cost is pretty prohibitive. So, I think we might have to find some creative ways to find some funding for that.
Okay,
I did reach out to the Trumbull County Commissioners, see if they had any idea. I just shot them a note today. So I'll keep you posted. I'll keep the committee posted
Yeah, okay.
on if they have any good ideas. But the OTA, does strongly recommend that we do such a study
Okay.
before we move forward with everything.
to me, that makes sense.
We had one done several years ago. I'm thinking of you were.
Boy, that was a long time.
Yeah, it was probably 2008,
It was a guy up
2007, 8.
in Cleveland or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was through the Chiefs, same type situation. And it's very in depth and it's a very good study. So, I mean, they are.
And if I'm not mistaken, it might have cost just about the same. Yeah,
No,
it was
it was
expensive.
It was like $5,000 some dollars.
I thought it was 50.
Then we paid them another amount of money to develop SOPs and different stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's
So
right.
there's
That's
some different places.
Okay.
So what did that pertain to, that study?
That study, it was an evaluation of just Bristol Township
Yeah.
and our service, and there were a lot of recommendations they made, and that was one of the things that sparked our part-time program. There were a lot of things that the trustees didn't do, not these at the time, that they should have done, they didn't do. It was, like I said, it was a very good study on our part, as far as the fire department was concerned, because it showed a lot of shortfalls and different things that we needed to work on. So,
What came out of it?
other than the part-time program, nothing. They shoved it aside.
So basically,
It was a pretty
waste of money.
disappointing. Pretty disappointing. Yeah.
What are the benefits of doing this anyway?
Of the joint district.
Yeah.
Again, a joint district would be to share manpower, to share equipment, to be able to have more clout when it comes to grants. All of the grants, the FEMA grant and even the state grants, they all state it right on there. Is this a joint fire district? Yes or no?
Wow.
And if it's yes, it gets priority. FEMA grants, if you're a joint fire district, that's just, they just award grants to them like crazy. So, and then again, we're in a situation like if over the last couple of weeks when we were switching those trucks around, we only had one fire engine. You can relocate that equipment around the district as people need it. Instead of us, we're up to buy a fire engine here and, we have a levy on for a fire engine. A new fire engine now it's going to be $1 million, when we go to buy one. And it would sure be a whole lot easier if there were 4 townships buying a fire engine instead of one. That would cut your cost down to a quarter of the cost. If everybody shared in the cost. Benefits like that, manpower, I'd love to have his volunteers, and a lot of them live just, Park Avenue and is that road and stuff, it'd be great if they could come over and help us automatically. A lot of benefits.
They actually spell out some of the benefits in this email that I got from
Okay.
the Ohio Fire Chiefs. So they list improved efficiency, combining resources can lead to better coordination and faster response time, cost savings from sharing facilities, equipment, administrative staff, enhanced service. They may be able to offer a wider range of service due to increased resource and specialized personnel. Increased personnel. Combining districts can increase staffing levels, improving coverage, standardized training. They also list some drawbacks such as loss of control. So a fire district is like its own separate legal entity. So it's not part of Bristol, it's not part of Mecca, it's like its own separate organization. They need their own trustees, which I think could be shared between the townships. It could be one of these gentlemen that serve as a trustee, maybe somebody from Mecca serves as a trustee, but it needs its own fiscal officer. So now you've got added overhead expense right out of the bat. Integration challenges arising from different cultures, procedures, labor agreements, increased bureaucracy, potential for conflict. In our case, right now we have a contract with Cortland, and they respond maybe 50% of the time.
No, they respond to every EMS call, auto accident, fire. I mean, I would say Cortland probably responds to, either through the contract or mutual aid to Mecca, probably 90% of the time. That's all of it.
They do a pretty good job, right?
I can't complain about any department in this county. I mean, everybody's shorthanded, everybody does a great job. From Bezetta to what we can get here at Bristol, Johnson's trying to do their best. I mean, they all do great jobs.
When we met with their chief, he told us if we canceled our contract, he probably wouldn't have resources to be able to respond to any emergencies in Mecca, and, anywhere close to the level that they do today.
Okay.
So it's a big concern for me. Like, I know, my house is a mile and a half from the Cortland fire station. It's like 8 or 9, 10 miles up here.
You gotta realize they'll still be responding on Mecca's fire station also to your house. So that's all gonna be part of the district, the response. I mean, and we can't really say too much because we gotta look at the whole entire picture.
Yes.
From staffing, are we gonna staff both stations eventually? To only having the 24-hour crew here at Bristol or a 24-hour crew at Mecca. We have to look at where the call locations are, where the most volume is. So one of the positive things that we want to look at is our ISO rating. If you're not familiar with what ISO is, it's your insurance for your house. If we can get a lower rating, it's going to be lower. It'll lower the premium on your house insurance. So it's going to save the residents money at that point also. I mean, we got to look at financially what it's going to take to support something like this. Can we continue off of the current millage that we currently have now, or I mean, it's a lot of information we want to make sure that this committee gets before we tell you the improper information as the residents of the townships. And we want to hold, I mean, I've had a meeting with each one of these trustees separately, and same with Mecca's trustees. I've had a meeting with two of them separately. But we want to make sure that we have all of our I's dotted or T's crossed. And then once we're ready to open this up to open meetings, we want to hold open meetings with the public. If we want to do it at the school, that way, if we have a large crowd, we don't want to turn anybody away for questions. And we don't want to answer too many questions, not knowing the exact information to give you right now. I mean, like a lot of the things that, Chief Prager and myself have done a lot of research on this for years, because it's been talked for years. Not just between Mecca and Bristol, but the governor put through the Ohio Fire Marshal's office a task force together. And this is a big talk of the task force to help volunteer departments in smaller communities, joint districting. I mean, we've known how Hubbard City and Hubbard Townships work with their joint fire district, Eagle Joint Fire District, Newton Falls. But this is kind of a little different. We're now taking 25 square miles, combining them together. So it's not going to be the same as Hubbard. It's not going to be the same as Newton Falls. It's going to be a little bit different. And the same with Poland. I'm not sure how big Poland is. That's where Chief Comstock is from. He's a lawyer that definitely has helped out Newton Falls and Hubbard with their fire districts. And it's up to the trustees if eventually they want to have him as a consultant in with this also. But we want to make sure that we look into every option that we can possibly between the two communities to give you at the best service to the residents of the town. I mean, I always had at Mecca Fire Department a 5 to a 10 year goal of what I want to see within the next 5-10 years. As far as trucks we're spending money right now. We're adding rooms into the fire station at no cost to the township. Our association's paying for it. And it's probably going to be about $35,000 total once we're done. But at no cost to the township, our association's doing that because we see the future of what that department might have to be as far as staffing, having bunk rooms, having proper storage for EMS equipment compared to what it was 10, 15 years ago. I mean, everything changes, and that unfortunately, with Mecca, we've been stagnant with the previous chiefs. It's always ran the same. Now, when I took over 4 or 5 years ago, that's the first thing I did with my members. I sit down before I make a decision. I talk to all my members. What would you like to do? How do you see this department in 5-10 years from now? And we update that plan every single year. And as things come off the list because we completed it, we rearrange that list. And I'm sure that's what that committee's going to have to do is look at the next 5-10 years. And we're going to have to produce that for you as residents of Bristol Township if we choose to move forward with anything. And that's our goals as this committee to get started on that and it's not going to happen overnight, but hopefully it doesn't take 5-10 years to get it done either if we choose to move forward.
Rescue.
All kind of different scenarios. We could carve out like just the west side of Mecca. We could draw a line around Mosquito Lake and say, ODNR, Army Corps, you're going to have a contract with us if you want to reply to state or federal lands. And there's all kind of crazy things that is possible, and having somebody that's well versed in this subject to do a study can help us understand the things that we're not thinking about, things I don't know, and questions I should be asking but aren't asking because I'm new to this whole thing.
Corey's got a question.
It's just kind of like a 4-part maybe. Steve, Tom, Greg, you're fairly new, so you may not know, and Doug predominantly because you've been around. What is our current millage for Bristol's fire department and yours respectively?
Let me answer this because I did the PowerPoint, but the problem is I can tell you Mecca's 4.4 and Steve can tell you what yours is, but you got to go off of what year those levies were passed also.
Sure.
Some of our levies in Mecca are kind of old, but I actually sat in a trustee meeting a couple years ago and saying, we can't have levies from the 70s any longer. And they updated them. So, as far as the exact millage, you can't really look at your exact millage. You got to look at how much you're kind of bringing in off of your levies.
Yeah.
And really, to be honest with you, if we form this fire district, probably what we would have to do within the first year is the fire district will have to support itself financially. So there will be probably a operational levy, an equipment levy that will be put out. But we're not going to we're going to try to do what's needed to operate.
That was part of my next question.
Obviously, the operations, the payroll, to keep the lights on, all that kind of stuff is going to fall underneath your operations.
So everything I've read, it's typically around 7 mils with current values to keep a fire department operational.
I think we kind of looked at it, and I think it might be.
If I had 7 mils, we'd be in good shape.
We'd be in great shape. I think with 7 mils,
we could plan for the future with 7 mils because we're at 6.5 now. That extra half a mil, and the one mil is a truck levy, so our operations and everything come out of 5.5, about 5.5,
Yeah, I was thinking 5.
give or take. But if that was 7, we wouldn't have had to put a truck levy on. We'd have been able to save money and
a part of this also is the Mecca residents understanding this need and ready for?
Well, that's part of us as a committee, gathering this information.
Mhm.
We're not gonna just say, hey, I mean, I'm sure Greg as a trustee is not gonna just pass a resolution to do this. He's gonna talk to his residents.
Sure.
And same with, Doug, I'm just representing the chairperson, but everybody here. We wanna make sure that the residents are comfortable with this, and then it's gonna be up to the trustees to move forward or to say, hey, we're done. They have to make that decision, but, I mean, this is all gonna be put out in information to the residents, I'm sure, well in advance before we move any further
Sure.
on this. I mean, I know when I talk to each one of these individuals, I mean, that's their biggest worry is to make sure that the residents of the communities understand what this means. It may be, something initially we get this levy, but once we get this ISO rating, the difference might be in lowering your house insurance. It might equal out to what you're paying today. But we don't know that without doing the research for ourselves.
So we're at total baby steps. We are
Yeah.
very far away from making any kind of
I'm
decision.
100% on board with it.
Yeah.
Have been for 20 years. I really think we should have a countywide fire department, and
It would be great, but
just
you've got a
beats
lot of
up the small
politicians and a lot of
communities.
higher ups that don't
Yeah.
want to give up they don't want you playing in their sandbox.
Yep.
Right.
I mean,
No, I
that's
get
the
it.
thing. We're one community, two communities that are willing to work together and see what we can do to support each other.
no, I think there's a 90% benefit, and the 10% is an ego problem.
So would this help us to not rely so much on Champion? Because I know Mr. Chicolo was all fired up the one meeting.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
the fees and that. Would this,
That
we wouldn't be automatically calling Champion?
would be the hope. The whole hope is, to have the staff to handle our own calls.
And one thing we're bringing into the picture is 15 volunteers from Mecca
Yeah.
Township. Both fire stations can be dispatched at the same exact time. The duty crew can go out and the volunteers can still show up and help. I mean, that's all in how that committee in that fire district, if it is formed, how it wants it to operate under their SOPs. So, I mean, if we know there's only maybe one person on duty at Bristol and we send out active alerts to everybody when the station has openings or unmanned, and there's been times where I came from my house over to Bristol to help out. I mean, I already do it now, kind of with being a part-time employee of Bristol. I've heard them be shorthanded. I got in my car and I came over and helped. I mean, that's what our guys and that's the other thing. We have to talk to the members of the departments also. But my guys, from what I've talked to them, they're all for this with Bristol.
So here I go again. I appreciate all the information that you both have given us tonight. And now it's on us to get all that information together also and work on this.
Yes.
It's not just one township.
Yeah, that's why we have two members from each community, the two chiefs and two trustees. That way we can sit down. We don't it's not a violation by having the multiple trustees from one community there by only having one there. It's approved through Ohio Revised Code to do this, and it's just going to take us some time. I mean, really, the first thing we need to schedule our first meeting, and once we can get on a schedule that we can regularly keep going, and then like Steve, you're assigned this task, or I'm assigned this task, or whoever, and we just keep on moving forward. The hopes and dreams is we don't become stagnant and just start mellowing out.
Do you agree that a feasibility study would probably be the best place to start?
I don't know if it's the best place to start. I definitely believe we need,
Okay.
I definitely believe we would
Right.
want that because like Greg said, I mean, obviously we are not one of us four are experts and neither is anyone else in this room. So, I mean, for them to give us the information to ask the right questions and do the right things. I think, yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know that it's our first step, but I do think we need one.
Yeah. And there are grants available.
That's my next question.
That's my
So,
next
right,
question.
You know,
Likewise.
that'll be one of our first things, research and try to find.
They give us,
Some
if they give in that
organizations.
seminar any ideas on grants, like where to look? I was gonna watch that seminar, actually. I didn't. get to
No, it'd
do
be a
it.
good one to, because they did record them supposedly, so yeah. if
They
you
just
could-
released them. All right, I'll watch
Okay,
them.
Oh,
great.
really?
Yeah, they just
Oh,
released them. We have the
excellent. That's on the
membership.
township?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of good seminars you guys showed.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
very good.
Good.
Awesome.
Well, I think that's the first thing we gotta start. We gotta figure out how we're gonna pay for the feasibility study, and then we go.
Well, I think you need to sit down and the committee got to talk.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
You know,
thing,
we
that,
gotta
that's why
talk
we
a
need to
little
sit
bit,
down as a
and then-
committee,
Oh, yeah.
brainstorm,
that's
assign,
on us.
assign different tasks to different individuals
And then-
and go from there.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. That you schedule your own meetings and go.
I assume that'd be 12 and 12. 12 grand, 12 grand? Is that how that works? Or is it
Oh, yeah, I
25
mean,
apiece?
Yeah.
If it's a grant, I mean, the grant covers it,
If
I mean,
it's a-
but
if it's a
if the
grant.
trustees, yeah, we would definitely have to split it. I mean, we're not gonna just say, hey, you guys pay 75, we'll pay 25. I mean,
Well, and that number was just a number that was thrown
Yeah.
out. That
You don't
wasn't
even
even
know
a,
if That's it.
right.
Yeah.
we don't have a clue what the cost would even be.
Yeah.
And again, I would like to see if it makes sense to include even a broader group of communities involved in this. Again, to look long-term and what direction are we heading? Or is somebody thinking, hey, let's do a countywide fire department, you know?
Mhm.
I want to make sure everybody's on the same page across the county that this is the right thing for Mecca and Bristol to do.
Okay.
Or maybe, hey, we should throw in Green in there, Johnson, or
Yes.
Clearfield, or
Okay.
you know.
Okay. Well, I'd like to get in touch with him and go. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. With that, I'm gonna sneak out unless you guys.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try not to talk about you again.
We make no promises.
Thank
I'll send you a
everybody.
link.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Let's go to old business. Any old business?
I don't know any.
Nope.
Okay. Been trying to reach D&J Construction, for the last 2 days. No answer on his phone, so I'm assuming he's on vacation. He said he was gonna take a vacation in February, so I'll continue to do that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 candidates for our zoning inspector. I'll make some phone calls starting tomorrow to get that set up for next Tuesday and Wednesday for interviews.
Question on that.
Yes.
Do they have to be Bristol residents or just?
No, they do not.
Okay.
Question.
And we're still, anybody else is interested.
We'll take, I guess we can take names up to Friday. Okay. Any new business, Jeremy?
I think we, well, covered.
Okay, yeah, I think, yeah, we did good. Okay. All right. Received an email from Mr. Weeks today, in response from September 9th, 2024. This is about short-term rentals. I know we had some really good discussions about that, and Ken sent some great information. We've got, examples from Howland and
Coventry County.
Coventry. Okay.
Summit County.
Yes, okay. So we got those. So we will go over that during the next couple of weeks, before our next meeting, and we'll, go from there. Down in the bottom of his first, page, he did say something about, where's it at? Oh, there's a bill that has been put into the Ohio legislature that would, talk about short-term rentals.
Which is contrary to what I was told by our state senator from this district when I was at a meeting 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
Friday down at the planning commission. I was told the group was informed by an individual who has pretty good knowledge that a state senator and a state representative are both going to be submitting bills to the state legislature now about short-term rentals.
With definitions and,
Well,
well, you don't, okay, he
I
didn't
don't
give
know.
that
But the
information.
fact that they were going to do something, when I was told that they weren't going to do
Okay,
something
there we
is,
go.
my point on that.
Yeah. The information from Allen Township.
And that just went into effect. On the
Yeah, I
7th
saw
of February.
that. Yeah. It's very detailed,
Oh, yeah.
very detailed.
Can you imagine the infrastructure you'd have to take care of that?
Exactly, exactly.
But that's not saying you can't start someplace.
Okay, okay. Yeah, all right. So are you gonna continue that discussion or
Yeah,
wait, do you wanna wait for us?
We officially tabled it
Okay,
at on our level. But I've had a couple people say we need to continue to talk about it. I'll keep it on, that's why I said I'm gonna keep it on the agenda.
yes,
So
sir.
if something new comes up, we can talk about it. I don't want to have have a discussion that's not part of the agenda, so.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, we will keep it on our minds also.
That was just an information thing to you guys, since you asked for specific information back on the 9th of September. I wanted to give you formally where we stand on that.
Yes, okay, great, thank you.
I personally think that you ought to move forward on that, Ken. I think it's a great idea. And I'm not too concerned about the state and federal level. I mean, if they come in and backdoor you, that's fine, but I think we should, as a township, regulate that from our standpoint. You know what I mean? And then if they force us to change something, we can make a change going forward, but I think it's a great idea and I think you're doing a good job.
Well, thank the committee, the zoning commission, yeah.
I know you guys, a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, we have received a letter from the zoning commission that will require a public hearing. We've got this is about section 5. There's an additional text that would be in section 5, which is classifications of use. It would add a couple lines to our 3rd or 4th paragraph. Okay, so we will go from that. Yes, we have to have that within the next 20 days. 30 days. Okay.
40. We're learning how to read lips.
Do I get a pay increase for that?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so
Times
this
your
is.
pay by 5.
So sometime in March, we have to have that. So let's see, our second, well,
March 4th, or before March 4th meeting, probably.
yeah, gentlemen, is that okay?
Before this
Yes.
regular meeting, yes.
Yes,
definitely.
okay, so let's do a resolution to have a public hearing to discuss section 5 of our zoning resolution on March 4th at 6:30 PM.
Why don't you do it at 6 p.m.?
I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. At
6 PM,
and then we'll go into regular meeting.
yes,
right after?
yes,
Okay.
So it's 6 p.m.
6 PM.
More normal time.
Minimum of 10 days.
You have to have 10 days?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah, isn't it?
yeah, that's 10
I'm
days.
sorry,
Oh, yeah, we got 10 days.
Yeah, it's like 12.
Just to get it in the paper though.
Yeah,
March 4th. What time do we do a meeting?
Oh.
Yes, what occurs?
First meeting.
March 4th.
I need a second, please.
Second.
Mr. Seaman,
Yes,
Mr. Chickalow,
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck.
Yes.
okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's do a few dates. We already booked a date for a spring cleanup day. That would be May 17th this year. Oh,
From 9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Yes, and we also booked not only cleanup, but we booked a shredding truck this year. So if anybody has, get rid of their shredding papers, whatever, they'll be here from 9 to 12 too, protecting shred.
Do they shred them right there?
Yep, they shred them right in front of
Yeah,
you.
watch them.
Do we have a tire limit?
6.
Is it 6?
6 tires.
It's down. Okay.
Used to be 8.
Yeah,
it's
it's
6.
down to 6. Sometimes we're able to take more in the fall if we have extra money, but we won't know that until we get the absolute total of our grant. Okay. The entire grant has been accepted, correct? All right.
Well, the tire grant hasn't been, it's been
Yeah.
submitted, I submitted it, we
Submitted,
just haven't
yes.
gotten the confirmation back
Okay.
yet. We got the Go Green grant back.
Okay. We have our first annual chili cook-off this Saturday at from 4 to 7 p.m. That's the 22nd. Jeff, anything to say about it?
I believe I have 11 chilies signed up at the moment.
Nice.
Are you doing anything, Chick? So I may have 12 if Chick signs up. We got karaoke, dancing, 50-50, chance raffle. That's about it.
Extra toilet paper?
Yes.
We went to bingo on Saturday at the Bloomfield Fire Hall. And that was for the association. Yeah. But anyway, they also sold like cans of soda and bottles of water that they made income on. And they had individual bags of chips. I mean, I know you say everybody's gonna be full from 11 different chilies or whatever, but they're gonna need a drink.
We have beer. There's
Oh,
gonna be beer there. They will
oh,
be sold at $5 a can, 16-ounce cans.
Yeah.
There will be soda there for
cool.
$2 a can.
And
Yeah.
you get a water
And you get a water when you come in with your,
Nice,
to go with
Okay.
your chili.
very good.
Did you put it out there for more baskets and things for the champ auction?
if I could, yeah, I mean, currently I'm thinking, I had a note there, maybe 6 or 7 items for the chance auction. I know you said you were gonna check with the bank if they had something. And if anybody else wanted to donate, I had a couple people online said they were donating, but I haven't heard back from them. I believe Chicolo said he was gonna donate. You know, I mean, he's like the last guy who's gonna come in that night and give me everything. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, but
Well, didn't you say though you wanted to keep that part small?
I kind of said I wanted to keep it small, but if you think about it, the more I talk to some other people, the more items that we have, the more tickets you're gonna sell.
That's right.
So if you only have 10 items, then people are only gonna buy $10 worth of tickets. If I have 40 items, then they might buy $40 worth of tickets.
We will donate a Vaseline. So we
So
don't want
yes,
our
my
name on
thought
it.
was current at first
You hear
to
that?
be smaller, but
She
yes.
just says
said
yes,
we.
dear, right?
Yes.
And I believe Vivian actually printed out a very nice little flyer that she took to the school or had taken to the school. So all the kids will get one of those this week in their bag. So I'm hoping to see some people from the school.
Yeah, I said 500 of them up there, so.
Wow.
That's great.
Awesome.
Thank you, Viv.
We don't have enough chili. Oh.
We probably are, I mean, that could be a bad thing, but it is what it is. It's our first annual. We'll do better next time if we run out of chili.
All right, our next zoning meeting is March 10th at 6. Our next township meeting is 4th, starting at 6, and that will commence with a public hearing on zoning. Anything else?
4th and the 17th, 18th?
18th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 4th and the 18th.
Yes,
Meeting's
there
this
you go.
month.
Yeah. Anything?
You know me,
Yeah,
I like to
okay.
talk. So I have a question as far as the lighting. Yes, dear. So do we have a lighting committee and a Christmas lighting? Not committee, fund, a lighting fund and a Christmas lighting fund? I'm getting confused on this.
No, we're not allowed to call it Christmas.
Okay.
So it's a holiday.
Oh,
Or
whatever.
even
I'm
park.
so sick of
Park
that.
lighting,
It's
yes,
park
we just have
lighting.
one fund,
And it's for all year long.
yes.
Yes.
So money that we donated, it will go all year.
Yep.
Toward, okay.
Yes.
I didn't
Stays
want
in
it
that
just
fund.
for
Right.
Christmas, even though we're not allowed to say that.
No,
Um,
park lighting.
All of the proceeds from the clothes, they
Yes,
go to the,
yes.
that also.
Yeah.
Any donations that would come, would
Right.
go into that fund
Yes,
and then
park lighting.
be
It's
dispersed to
just
them.
so nice to drive past here and seeing lights at the park.
Yeah.
It is so like a warm and fuzzy.
Do you like the?
I do,
Do you?
I
That's
do.
good.
Now you say yes, dear. So,
Thank you.
I like it.
The clothing drops that's over here by the, where the old
Bar.
Yeah.
Did anybody ask you to put there?
Oh, it's not our problem.
That's not ours.
So is this,
West New York.
it still falls in.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't own that
We can't
property.
break the decks.
Tore his building down.
Yeah, that's all we did. Yeah.
Both of them,
And we charged.
it's on the tax.
Look at us go.
Yeah.
Now there's one more that needs to go.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question about it.
Yes.
You charged, you mean, all you did was put the money that cost you onto his,
On taxes.
on his, yeah.
Yeah.
But that could go for 20 years or something.
Yes, sir. It's absolutely.
You go
Then
for
why,
it.
why aren't we looking at some way of collecting interest off of that?
You can't,
Yeah.
you can't legally, you can't, it's on the tax, it's sent to the auditor's office,
Yeah, the auditor takes care of that.
yeah.
What I'm saying is, there must be somebody else we could contact to change that. It
No.
doesn't seem right to me.
No, Trumbull County does not sell tax liens, so you can't sell that. State of Ohio, they pay 18% on tax liens, but Trumbull County does not participate in that.
So it's a county thing then, it's not a state thing.
Correct. The county
The
has
whole
to,
thing is county, not state?
the county has to make the choice whether or not to sell a tax lien, and as of right now, they do not participate. The county does add interest and fees. If you look up somebody's property on the auditor's site, it'll show you tax, fee, interest, what the taxes were due for that 6 months, and it'll keep carrying on and show you that. It'll show when they made a payment. So as far as the interest goes, I think the county keeps all that extra money and we just get paid back if they get paid in full. Now, yeah, I think you have around 7 years with the county if you get behind to get on a program and get it paid back. Where they, as long as you make your payments, they won't yank the rug and sell it on you. But if you default or don't do a plan with them, they put it in a sheriff's auction. That's the only way Trumbull County gets rid of it, is all sheriff's auction.
What we're running into in Mecca is people are just changing the owner's property name.
Oh,
And the tax deficit's still there, but it's just in somebody else's name. Now they have another 7 years to go.
oh my goodness.
How are they changing the deed when there's a
See, there's
lien?
something ought to be done about that.
That's
Or
literally
it should be addressed somewhat. I don't know who you talk to.
because he's been able to do
Yeah,
it.
that's state.
And
Did
I'm
that
not,
start
I'm
when
like,
you
I mean,
counted
hey, play the
this
game
year?
if you can play the game. I'm for it for him,
For the
but I mean,
treasurer. The
but that's
treasurer
what's
goes to
gonna
the
happen.
auditor,
Treasurer,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it goes to the auditor, the properties go through the auditor's office,
Right.
is where I send the information to.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Have to go
usually
through the state
won't
legislature.
transfer a title with the tax. If there's tax owed, you're not gonna be able to buy a property unless you pay that tax, because that's in Warren, or.
All the liens have to be cleared before
Right,
those.
yeah, they have to be cleared
It has to be a
before,
clear title before.
exactly.
Right.
So I don't know how they're doing it in Mecca.
I can show your property that's doing it.
Wow.
Same owner, just same person kind of owns it, but they just keep on changing through LLC or.
That's why. It's an LLC, it's not a private ownership.
It was a private owner, then went to an LLC. That's currently an LLC right now.
Right.
One more thing.
Oh,
Sorry, you guys asked me to come before. No.
oh, Vicky.
What about Bristol Banter and all the uproar that, is this gonna be a medical marijuana facility? Isn't this too close to the school for that to be that?
It's gonna be the new insurance company.
I guess I.
Is that what it is?
There's no answer.
Very good.
Simple.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
good
you.
grief,
I'll
but
take this.
did you,
I know there's no.
anybody looking
for
on
the
that?
medical.
It was like, give me a break. And then you could tell
I went
who
to
was
one
really
and I
wanting
went
it,
to-
you know?
Too close.
Yeah.
It was like,
It's nice.
right?
Bill, darn.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, honey, no weed for you.
All right. Nothing else to come for this
Motion to pay
committee?
bills.
Motion to pay bills?
Second?
A second.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Chicolo?
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck?
Yes.
A motion to adjourn, please?
Second?
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Chicolo?
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck?
Yes.
Thank you all so